I move, pursuant to Standing Order 203, I move that Senator Hanson be suspended from the sitting of the Senate until she complies with the President's direction.
So,
Excited or stunned?
Did you just come from Afghanistan? Wow, Pauline. Wow. Shame on you. Shame on you. Why are you wanting the spotlight?
And yesterday, purely to get attention, and not for the first time, it's an old play, replayed, Senator Hanson mocked and vilified an entire faith, a faith observed by nearly 1 million Australians and the second largest religion in this country. Colleagues, senators, freedom of expression is central to who we are as Australian, but so too is respect. And I believe, and I think most of this Senate believes, that disrespecting fellow Australians because of their faith is itself un-Australian.
To say that I don't have respect for people of faith, I reject that as well. The burqa is culturally worn by some people of Islamic faith, but it is not a religious requirement. It has been imposed on women that are forced to wear it by their male, whether husbands, brothers, fathers, whatever, that they're forced to wear it. And I think it's so hypocritical to see that you're supposed to be defending women's rights, but you're not going out there and fighting for these women to wear this burqa, full face coverings, when it's against, their will.
Thank you, President. I move that Senator Hanson be suspended for the Senate for 7 sitting days.
so the question is, the motion is moved by Senator Wong be agreed to. Those of that opinion say aye. Aye. Against? No. I believe the ayes have it.
You can cancel that division. The people will judge me at the next election.
Senator Hanson, come to order. Senator Hanson, come to order. The division is cancelled. Is leave granted?
What can I say? I didn't know it was going to happen. It was only about 2 minutes beforehand. I'm censured. Does it really worry me? No, it doesn't. For 7 days, not at all. I stand my ground on what I believe in. I will continue to do so. And, it will be the people that will judge me. I will. A precedent there that let's decide on it. They threw it out. They wouldn't even vote on it. Did nothing.
This wasn't just a protest. It was a full-scale political collision. And within minutes, the entire narrative inside the Senate flipped. When Pauline Hanson walked into the chamber wearing a burqa, the reaction was immediate. Shock, outrage, confusion, all at once. But the real story wasn't the entrance. The real story was what followed. Because this wasn't random. It was calculated. A move designed to force a reaction. To drag a deeply sensitive issue into the spotlight. Whether the Senate was ready for it or not. And the Senate responded. Penny Wong wasted no time turning the moment into a direct confrontation. Her argument was sharp and clear. This wasn't about free speech. It was about respect. She accused Hanson of mocking an entire faith, one followed by nearly 1 million Australians. In that moment, the debate shifted from a symbolic act to something much bigger, a question of national values, identity, and the limits of political expression. But then Hanson pushed back, and this is where everything changed. Instead of backing down, she reframed the entire issue. She argued that the burqa is not a strict religious requirement, but rather a cultural practice, and in some cases, one that is imposed on women. With that, she flipped the narrative from religious sensitivity to women's rights. Suddenly, the accusation wasn't just about offense, it became about hypocrisy. According to Hanson, those defending the burqa were ignoring the voices of women who may not have a choice. That single shift turned the debate into a clash of principles. And then came the escalation. A formal motion was introduced to suspend Hanson from the Senate. That's not a minor step. It's one of the strongest disciplinary actions available in a parliamentary setting. It signals that a line has been crossed. That something has gone beyond debate and into unacceptable conduct. The chamber moved toward a decision. Voices were called. The process began. And then, suddenly, the division was cancelled. Just like that. No full vote. No drawn-out resolution. The process stopped mid-track. And that's where the controversy deepened. Because Hanson immediately seized that moment. The people will judge me at the next election. That wasn't just a defense. It was a strategy. A direct appeal beyond the Senate. Beyond the rules. Straight to the public. In one line, she reframed the entire incident as not a parliamentary issue, but a democratic one. And she didn't stop there. Afterward, she made it clear she had been given almost no notice. Censured, yes, but unaffected. Does it worry me? Not at all. That wasn't damage control. That was defiance. A signal that she wasn't just standing her ground, she was doubling down on it. But perhaps the most controversial claim came next. She suggested that the Senate didn't even properly follow through, that they threw it out, and didn't allow a real vote to happen. If that's accurate, then this isn't just about one protest or one senator. It raises questions about process, transparency, and whether the system itself avoided a definitive stance on a deeply divisive issue. And that's what makes this moment so significant. On one side, you have a powerful argument about respect, inclusion, and the responsibility of elected officials to represent all citizens without targeting their beliefs. On the other, you have a claim of exposing uncomfortable truths, of challenging norms that, according to Hanson, go unquestioned for too long. So what is it really? An act of disrespect, or an act of defiance? A political stunt, or a forced conversation? The answer depends entirely on perspective. But one thing is undeniable. This was not ordinary Senate business. This was a moment where institutional authority collided head-on with populist resistance, where rules met rebellion, and where both sides weren't just debating each other, they were performing for a much larger audience watching from the outside. Because in the end, Hanson made it clear she's not relying on the Senate to decide her fate. She's taking it to the public. And now, whether you agree with her or not, the final judgment doesn't belong to the chamber. It belongs to the people.